This is one of the biggest travesties. So many people feel like philosophy is too hard to understand and so far out of reach of them that they're missing out on that life-changing wisdom. And instead, they get stuck reading the self-help books like The Subtle Art of Miracle Morning Habits or whatever it's called. Philosophy changed my life, and this channel is going to serve to bridge that gap to make philosophy more accessible for you so you can reap the rewards of this wisdom in your life. We're going to break down esoteric concepts. We're going to take philosophical principles. I'm going to give them to you in easily digestible formats so that you can apply them to your life. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please give us a subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that sort of stuff. For anything about human behavior, mindset, and philosophy, this is your place. Any questions, any videos you want me to make, just shoot me a message. Cool. Now, today the principle we're looking at is called Amor Fati, or the love of one's fate. This is an ancient Stoic practice that is used to recognize that everything happens for a reason and plays out exactly as it's meant to. So one thing you're going to find with philosophy is that a lot of ancient traditions all came to the same beliefs. They have the same beliefs, just in a different coat of paint. Most ancient traditions had their own version of loving fate, acceptance, or practicing non-attachment. This is encompassing all of those. Now, a quote that epitomizes this entire lesson comes from an ancient Stoic practitioner, Epictetus, whichever. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well. What he's saying basically is, as long as you're wishing for something to happen that doesn't, you're setting yourself up with expectations, and those expectations aren't getting met, which means you're going to feel disappointed, you're feeling the pain and all the associated negative emotions. But if something happens and you're like, cool, that happened, I wish it happened that way now anyway, then you're no longer resisting what has happened. You're accepting what's happened, you're seeing the benefits of it, and you're no longer causing your own pain because you don't have unmet expectations. Here's the deal. We are all mortals. We're not omniscient. We don't know what we don't know. I can sit here and think, oh, this has to happen and this has to happen and this has to happen, and that's the perfect path. But that's just me imposing my will on the world around me, trying to think with my limited knowledge, this is what's meant to happen. I don't know the best possible thing. For all I know, something way better is just sitting off to my side here that I have no idea about. But as long as I'm thinking it has to be this, I'm going to be resentful to anything else that does occur. Amor Fati is recognizing that the universe has a better plan for you, that it's going to take you where you need to go at all times, that it's going to bring you all the perfect opportunities, the challenges, everything you need on your evolutionary journey. Life plays out chronologically, but it often only makes sense looking back in hindsight. I'm sure so many times in your life you would have thought that something had to happen and be miserable at the way that things played out, but then you get to a point in the future when you look back, it's like, that was good. I'm glad things went that way. Now I can see that that's why things had to go. Amor Fati is recognizing that in the moment and saving yourself those weeks, months, years of pain of wishing for things to be different. It allows you to be grateful every single moment as things happen by recognizing, well, it happened, that's the way it had to happen, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't have happened. So basically, Amor Fati is like going through life, keeping your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times and trusting that the universe will take you to where you're meant to go, that you will meet all the perfect opportunities and challenges that you're meant to meet. But you're meeting them willingly, knowing that there's lessons and opportunities for growth in them, that every challenge is on the way, not in the way. So ultimately, you do this by learning to balance your mind. And I'm going to use a personal example from my life to explain this principle for you. Back in 2017, I made a lot of money in the crypto bull run, but I lost it all in 2018. And I was a victim of that. I was resentful to that. I was like, universe, why did you do this to me? I was meant to hold on to that money. I was meant to make more money with that. That was the way my life was meant to go. And as long as I held on to this belief of this is what should have happened, it caused my own pain, my own resentment, my own depression, because I was comparing my life to what I thought should have happened. I was missing the opportunities here. I was missing everything that had happened and why I had to lose that money for my journey. Until I looked at my life through the lens of Amor Fati, I was trapping myself in my own pain and misery. Once I made that change, once I looked through the lens of Amor Fati, well, everything has to happen for a reason. There has to be some benefits in this. All of a sudden I realized that I didn't lose any money. I gained $300,000 of education, of lessons. I built resilience. I learned how to manage money. I gained so much opportunity. It pushed me towards mindset, towards human behavior, gave me a purpose in life. All of a sudden, it wasn't a bad thing that happened to me. I now see that that was the perfect thing on my journey. It was on the way. It was taking me to where I needed to go in life. Right now, if I had the chance to go back in time and change anything, I wouldn't change a thing. I would let things play out exactly as they did. I'd let that money all disappear again. Why? Because I see that that was perfect. And if that didn't happen, I don't get to be where I am enjoying the life I get to enjoy today. That is Amor Fati. Helen Keller said it best. When one door of happiness closes, another opens. But often we're just staring so longingly at the closed door that we fail to see the one that's been opened for us. When I lost that $300,000, I kept looking at that $300,000 that wasn't there and thinking, I should have this, I should have this. Because of that, I missed the opportunity to learn the lessons straight away in that moment. I went through months and years of pain before I realized and saw the open door for me and saw how that was pushing me towards my better future. Amor Fati is shortening that gap. Let's have another example. Imagine you're someone that's in a relationship, you're just cruising through life, when out of nowhere, your partner just breaks up with you. Obviously, natural response is, this is a terrible thing. Why did this happen to me? No good can come from this. This is terrible, blah, 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 blah. You've got a couple of weeks of feeling pain and miserable, and then eventually you get out of your room, you start showering again, you get back into life. You realize, okay, I've got a bit more time in my day. I might go to the gym. I might read some more books. You start putting in more hours at work as well. And let's fast forward 3 months. You're now in better shape. Your body's looking good. You actually got a promotion at work because you've been doing a lot of extra work, and you've been learning heaps. So you're feeling really confident, really good about yourself. Fast forward another 6 months and you decide to put yourself back into the dating pool. You're in the best shape you've been in. You're doing well at work. Everything's going great. And you actually meet a more compatible partner that's playing at a higher level. This is a person that you never thought you would have had a chance with in the past, but now you guys are connecting. Fast forward 3 years, you and that person now getting married. Fast forward another 2 years, you just had your first baby with this new compatible partner. Now, if you look back on when you got dumped out of nowhere, you'd be crazy to say that that was a bad thing. Because if that dumping didn't happen, you don't go on that self-improvement journey, meet that partner, get married and have the baby. That all doesn't happen unless you get dumped. Amor Fati is recognizing in that moment when you got dumped that there is some good there. You might not be able to see it yet, but there is opportunity, there are hidden blessings, there are advantages, there are benefits, there are services there. Amor Fati is asking yourself the questions so that you can recognize them then, rather than going through the year of pain and then the rebuild and finding out 5 years down the line. It's shortening that gap. You have the ability to do this about anything at any time. All you have to do is ask some key questions to balance out your mind. You don't be stubborn, you don't let the ego kick up a fuss, say, there's no benefit. Ask yourself and hold yourself accountable to finding the other side of the equation in your mind. Amor Fati is your way of going with the flow in life, drifting down the river, just going wherever the water takes you. But it is not bottling things up and sweeping them under the rug. It's not the whole mentality of, it is what it is. That is not Amor Fati. That is just being like, well, it happened, it sucks, but whatever. You're still a victim, you're still bottling those things up, you're still holding on to it. You're not recognizing the perfection in those moments if you're holding on to that sort of a belief. This is the practice of finding the benefits, blessings, and opportunities until you are grateful for whatever happened. Amor Fati isn't about passive acceptance. It is about taking every challenge, every opportunity, finding the lessons and becoming grateful for the experience, seeing how it is on the way, not in the way. When you master this, life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. You start becoming bulletproof to whatever happens. You're much less reactive to the world around you because you recognize that everything is happening for a reason. Everything is guiding you and serving you and feedback to help you get towards your best possible life. If this resonated with you and you want to keep building that resilient and unshakable mind, then make sure you've subscribed so you can catch all the future lessons. If this is your first time to my channel, then the next step for your journey might be to go check out my Understanding Your Values video, which I'll put right here. So that way you can start figuring out your unique inner wiring, your algorithm, so you can figure out what you would love your life to look like. So you can figure out what every single moment is trying to guide you towards when you're practicing Amor Fati. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, Amor Fati, the love of fate. Keep getting 1% better every day, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.